We are back for UFC Fight Night
Anthony.
Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. This is my full card breakdown. I will be giving you every single fight on this card, my prediction and breakdown, starting with the first fight of the night, going all the way up to the main event. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First fight of the night, Austen versus Robelis Despaigne. Obviously, Despaigne's performance last fight wasn't good, but Waldo Cortez Acosta is like an interesting heavyweight that he's given a lot of these people some tough times against. And Austen Lane, he's the chinniest person in existence. So he's obviously going to get knocked out in 20 seconds by Robelis Despaigne. Robelis Despaigne will run through him with a couple 1-2s and knock him down immediately. Or a head kick or something. Austen Lane is getting ran through, though, under half a round, 1 minute knockout for Robelis Despaigne. Obviously, a round 1 TKO. This is the easiest pick of the entire card. Robelis Despaigne by KO in the first round. Next fight up the card, we've got Melissa Martinez versus Elise Ardelean. And a lot of topologies picking Melissa Martinez, which is like really surprising to me. I get she's younger and all that, but she hasn't fought in 2 years, and that fight was Elise Reed, and she lost that fight. That was her UFC debut. She hasn't won a fight in 4 years and 10 months, and that was outside of the company in Combat America. So I'm obviously going to pick our Elise Ardelean here. I don't know why I said obviously. It might end up being a close fight. But I'm going to go with Elise Ardelean. I think she's been more active, and she also just had a fight in the UFC a few months ago against Shanna Bannon, who she's a good fighter. You know, she will give you a good fight. She lost that fight, Elise Ardelean, but I think she has better experience anyways, and, you know, this is a low-level women's fight, so I'm not going to hold too much stock in it, but I think Elise Ardelean definitely should win this. Melissa Martinez lost to Elise Reed. Speaking of Elise Reed, next fight up the card, we've got Jessica Penne versus Elise Reed. So Penne is coming off of a armbar loss to Tabitha Ricci. She's 41 years old at the time of this fight. Elise Reed is 31 years old. Penne does have a 4-inch reach advantage, but I think I'm going to have to go with Elise Reed here. As much shit as I talk about Elise Reed, I'm not going to compliment her here. I'm just mostly saying Penne's going to be washed because she's 41 years old. And Elise Reed probably will be able to hold her against the cage for a bit, get the knees to the thigh, and she's probably going to win a decision here. But it's a low-level women's fight. Anyone could win this one, but Elise Reed definitely should win this one. Age-wise, you know, she should take this one home. I'm going with Elise Reed by decision will be the official pick. Did I say my pick? Or Elise Ardelean by decision was the pick for the last one. I can't even remember if I said that one. But next fight up the card, we've got Joselyn Edwards versus Tamires Vidal. I'm going to have to say Joselyn Edwards wins by decision here. Tamires Vidal, she isn't that good. She'll try to clinch up with you, but she kind of folds at the first sign of adversity, and I think Joselyn Edwards will be stronger in the grappling. She trains pretty heavily in that, and I just don't think Tamires Vidal is all that good. I get both of them are coming off of 2 losses, but Edwards' losses are against Nora Cornhole, which is she's pretty terrible, but Aileen Perez is a dominant grappler, so that loss isn't terrible, and I think Edwards will take this one home. I like her more of a fighter than Vidal. I think she will be more gritty. She'll probably take home that decision victory with control time. So Joselyn Edwards by decision will be the pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. So I'm going to go with Gene Matsumoto here. Brad Katona is pretty bad, and Matsumoto does have potential coming into this one. He tapped out Dan Argueta in the second round in his last fight in his UFC debut. Looks not terrible. Dan Argueta is not just a pushover opponent that anyone can finish that fast. As we saw, Cody hadn't even went to a decision with him, even though he beat him up that whole fight. But Dan Argueta is not just a pushover, so a finish over Dan Argueta kind of ages well. And Brad Katona, he's not going to get finished here. That's the thing about him. He is able to take a beating and still go to a decision usually. He's lost 3 fights by decision. Those were his only 3 losses. So maybe he could put something together here and take it home, but I really don't see it happening. I think Brad Katona is going to lose by decision here, a dominant one, ground control, ground and pound, maybe a close submission attempt for Matsumoto. Matsumoto's good. He showed off good grappling in his last fight. I think he's taking home a decision victory here. Next fight up the card, we got Mattuez Nicolau versus Asu Almabaev. Now, this one could age badly. I understand that. Nicolau is on 2 fights in a row where he's lost. But Asu Almabaev hasn't fought someone of this level yet. And Nicolau is only lost by knockout. I don't see Asu Almabaev knocking this guy out because Asu Almabaev showed no finishing potential. KO-wise, he might have had a couple submissions here and there against low-level guys, but he's not KOing a fly. Mateusz Nicolau, he's getting KO'd by like Alex Perez and Brandon Royval, which both of those guys are nasty strikers. Asu Almabaev is a stalling grappler. Nicolau has good defense on the ground. He has a 93% takedown defense, so I think he'll be able to defend the takedowns from Asu Almabaev. It just depends how many he can throw. It depends if Asu Almabaev is able to stall this against the fence for enough time in the fight. Maybe that's how Asu wins, is just fucking stalling it against the fence like a lot of these stalling grapplers do. But I'm not going to pick him to do that. I can't pick someone to fucking stall a fight for 15 minutes and win, especially when Dana White's cracking down on it. I think Mateusz Nicolau is coming back in the win column here, guys. He needs this win. 2 losses in a row. He's defending his spot in the rankings. And listen, a lot of these people are going to be overlooking Mateusz Nicolau, but he has really crisp striking on the feet. He's getting caught by nasty strikers. And he's got good takedown defense, good defense on the feet, even though he's getting knocked out. Like, I understand he's getting knocked out, but his defensive, like, stat number-wise is, like, 66% defense. That means he's blocking a lot of these shots. And Asu Almabaev, he just doesn't have finishing potential. I can see Mateusz Nicolau taking home a decision victory here. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to pick Nicolau by decision will be my pick. I understand the dangers of it here. Asu Almabaev is going to try to stall this fight. I completely understand. I'm just saying I'm not going to pick a fight. I'm not going to pick someone to stall a fight. I'm going to pick Nicolau to pick him apart on the feet, keep him off of the ground because he has 93% takedown defense. I'm picking Nicolau by decision. Next fight up the card, to the main card. So on to the main card. First fight on the main card, we got Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. This is like a Court McGee versus Tim Means type of fight. You know, old head, D-Rod versus Alex Morono. You know, just 40-year-olds against each other. Who's coming out on top? I think, Daniel Pineda, he's on a 2-fight losing stint here. Darren Elkins beat TJ Brown by submission in his last fight. Pineda did look crisp on the feet against Nathaniel Wood in his last fight, though. But if we're going by like stats and all this, Elkins beats him everywhere. And I don't see Pineda finishing Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins absorbs a lot of damage, and he did look good in his last fight. And I think Elkins is just going to take home a decision victory here. Pineda showed in his last fight, even if he can take home that first round against a guy, he still can't win the fight. He's never won a decision ever, and I don't think it's going to start here. I think Darren Elkins is going to take home a decision victory, and I don't see Elkins getting a finish, or I don't see Elkins getting finished. I could see him submitting Pineda or something like that, but I will take Elkins by decision will be the pick. Next up the card, we got Brady Hiedstand versus Jake Hadley. Brady Hiedstand's coming off a win over Garrett Armfield. Jake Hadley's coming off of a short notice win over Cowlin Loughran. Last fight, Brady Hiedstand, I was picking him to win, but I got talked out of it, and I ended up picking Garrett Armfield, which kind of hurt, but I should have stuck with my gut. I was originally picking Brady Hiedstand, and I think he is really good, guys. He has great grappling. He showed it off in that fight, too. He's good on the feet. And Jake Hadley, I think he kind of got lucky last fight. Circumstances gave him a good short notice win to get back in the win column because he kind of got checked a bit. He lost to Cody Durden pretty dominantly by decision. Showed he wasn't all that. And then he lost to Charles Johnson as well. Got shown he wasn't all that. But Charles Johnson does that to people. Brady Hiedstand's good, though. I don't see Jake Hadley doing what he did to Callan Loughran against him. And I think Brady Hiedstand will be able to get the takedowns off. And I think he'll be able to control Jake Hadley. And I'm going to go with Brady Hiedstand by decision here. I'm pretty confident in that. I don't think Jake Hadley beats Brady Hiedstand. Next fight up the card, we've got Charles Johnson versus Sumadaerji. Sumadaerji's lost both of his last 2 fights by submission. Matt Schnell as well as Tim Elliott both submitted him. And Charles Johnson's looking great recently, put together a 3-fight win streak. Last fight was a KO over Joshua Van, which really pained me because I was really high up on Joshua Van to beat Charles Johnson. Obviously didn't happen. Nearly rallied the decision win, but got KO'd in the 3rd. And Charles Johnson also beat Jake Hadley. Good win. I think he's going to take home a decision victory here. The Sumadaerji's only been submitted, and maybe Johnson gets his first UFC submission. I don't see that happening. Maybe it happens, but I'm going to take Charles Johnson to take home a decision victory here. Pretty confident. Probably a 30-27. On to the co-main event of the evening. Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips. So this is where I tell you that I was wrong about Kyler Phillips. He looked great in his last fight against Pedro Munoz. I was talking bad. I was saying that Kyler Phillips wasn't all that. He didn't look great, or he didn't impress me too much against Raoni Barcelos. Obviously, Kyler Phillips went out there and pitched a shutout, as some would say, against Pedro Munoz. Looked really good. Rob Font, 2 back-to-back losses, but against good competition, Davison Figueiredo and Corey Sandhagen. But, like, he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, losing to Jose Aldo and Marlon Vera as well. I don't like the loss to Marlon Vera. You should be beating Marlon Vera if you're going to be anything in the division, to be honest. And I think Rob Font's just over the hill at this point. He's 37 years old. Kyler Phillips coming into his prime. He's going to be throwing like spinning back kicks. His pressure's going to be crazy. And I don't see Rob Font catching him the same way Adrian Yanez is going to get, like, that Adrian Yanez got caught. You know, I think Kyler Phillips is a bit more defensively sound, and he's going to stay at range a bit more, not break in and get caught. I think he's going to play this smart and take home a decision victory here. I think Kyler Phillips gets it done. I don't see Rob Font fraud checking him or anything. I think Kyler Phillips will get a dominant decision victory. So I'll go with Kyler Phillips by a 29-28, 30-27 decision. Next fight up the card to the main event of the evening. Fluffy Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. Both men 5-0 in their last 5. Hernandez beat Roman Kopylov in his last fight. Pereira beat Ihor Peteria in his last fight. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk before that. He's looked unstoppable as of recently. He looks like he has some sort of Titan superhero power to him, where one cross to the body is hurting these guys and making them fold in the first 10 seconds of the fight. Like, it's absolutely nuts what he's doing to these guys, hurting him immediately. He did it to Mikhail, and Peteria had a little look after one of those first kicks to the body. He acknowledged it immediately, and then he got finished a minute after. Hernandez, look, he's good, guys. He's good on the ground. I'm not taking anything away from him. He looked really good against Kopylov, got the takedowns off. But the thing is, Pereira has a 94% takedown defense, guys. That's not just going away. He's still massive. He's still going to be throwing him away when he shoots a takedown. He's going to be shucking him off. Pereira's going to knock out Anthony Hernandez. You can't get knocked out in 40 seconds by Kevin Holland and go up there against Michel Pereira and stand toe-to-toe. He's going to have to strike with him at some point, guys. This is going to be on the feet for a majority of the fight because Pereira's going to be shucking those takedowns off. I'm telling you, Pereira has heat in his hands. 11 of his wins are by knockout. This guy is hurting people. And then after he's knocked them down, he's completely fine with throwing a backflip on them and getting an illegal knee that the ref doesn't even see because of the backflip. You know, he's able to get dirty. He's able to go low, below the belt. And I like that in a fighter. You know, Pereira will find the way to win. And listen, he's way more physically imposing. Hernandez got the love handles on him. That's why they call him Fluffy. You know, he's not fat. He's fluffy, though. And Pereira, he's literally fucking jacked to fuck. Looks like Macho Man in his prime, you know. I'm telling you, this Saturday we're snapping in Slim Jims. In honor. Michel Pereira's getting it done. He's going to beat the fuck out of Hernandez on the feet. He's got a different pace, guys. This guy's different. I'm telling you. He's different. Something about him. Fluffy's good. Pereira's better. He's going to shuck the takedowns off, keep it on the feet. 94% takedown defense. I'll be toting that all week. And I'm going to go with a Michel Pereira round 1 KO win. Let me know what you thought of my picks. That's the full card breakdown. Make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss any future uploads, guys. I'll be back here for more soon. Let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.